Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Ogitech Poly TV. It is a beautiful moment before you, our amazing listeners and audience, as we bring to you today a captivating and intriguing topic on parenting in the 21st century. I remain your host for today's program and your presenter, Marvelous Davy. And I have my co-presenter here with
It
me.
is Aisha's faith.
We'll be looking at parenting in the 21st century. A guest who have come to grace this occasion is a senior lecturer in the Department of Mass Communication, Ogun State Institute of Technology, BESA. On the program, we have parenting in the 21st century. Today, we'll be comparing parenting as that of old and parenting in this generation. A lot of setback has been in the parenting this century. Our parents need to be alive to their responsibilities as that of old. Because the parenting as that of old was rich with natural love and there's this strong cordial relationship. So we're looking at parenting in today's century. But before we continue on that, let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. On today's segment, we have parenting in the 21st century. And the topics for today's program involves two variables, parenting and parenting in the 21st century. So we're going to look at what is parenting. Parenting is the process of promoting and supporting the physical, social, emotional, and intellectual development of a child from infancy to adulthood. Aisha, what do you think?
The most common caretaking in parenting is the father and the mother, both biological parents of the child. Parenting in 21st century is different from that of the olden days.
A lot of challenges, setbacks in today's generation. Bad parenting, incompetence of parents to carry out their primary roles and responsibilities in today's century. But on our program today, we have a distinctive personality. He's also a senior lecturer in the Department of Mass Communication, Ogun State Institute of Technology, Mr. Ajobiwe. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah,
Welcome on the program, sir.
yeah, thank you.
Sir, on the program today, parenting in the 21st century, we are comparing parenting as that of old and of this generation. So during the time when parents and their children are home together, there is this unique opportunity to build strong relationships that set their children on the right path. Sir, do you think this strong relationship still exists? Or our parents are out there busy with their office works and business plans?
Yeah, thank you. Welcome viewers. Most importantly, we've actually defined parenting, and if I want to add one or two things, it's a developmental process whereby you raise a child, and raising a child does not involve just giving her food or giving food. What matters more is the psychological development, the social development, the spiritual development, and the physical development. Giving a child food will make him develop. But what of the spiritual aspect of it? How is he going to reason when it comes to the other aspect of life? Psychologically, a parent who does not psychologically balance cannot impart psychology into any child. Socially, a parent that is not sociable will never impart that. So everything works together. It's a process. So if a parent in the 21st century lack those things, they can't impact it. And why most times, if you look at our generation, everybody wants to work and everybody is looking for a greener pasture. And in the process of that, they leave behind that child development. They leave it whether to the house help, who is also looking for help. So at the end of the day, you see that the balance equation of that development is not there. The child is only listening to the house help, not listening to the parent. So that there is a vacuum, there's a lacuna between the parent of those days and the parent of this the century. And that is the more reason there should be a balance for what the parent of this century will do. Work is important. Feeding your, the economic crunch is actually affecting the parent these days. So they have to look for means of catering, school fees, and the school fees today is not what we pay in those days.
Yes,
You have to pay a lot of money,
Lump sum.
a lump sum. So at the end of the day, you see that most of the parents of the 21st century run to the labor market to get money in order to feed them, leaving behind the moral aspect, the social aspect, and the spiritual aspect of it.
Yes, sir.
Sir, why do parents in this century exhibit a parenting style forcing children to follow their tight schedules?
Well, you like I said something early this morning to a particular student that I wake up as early as possible 4 a.m. That attitude was inculcated into me by my father, who most times would wake up around that time. And I want to tell you that parenting or parents of this century, you won't blame them forcing whatever. If I'm a lawyer, for instance, a barrister,
Okay.
I want one of my child also to go into that
Follow the line.
and to follow the line. I have a chamber. Who is going to inherit the chamber? That chamber is filled with books and every other thing. So I want one of my son or my child to be a barrister, but not knowing that if I have done my part, the area of developmental process, I will have been able to discover what the area that child you tilt to. But because I don't have the time, I have not studied, I don't know anything. So I'll just force him that no, go and study mass communication. But the guy is not mass communication person. He wants to be a teacher. He wants to be a carpenter. And I want him to be a mass communication student. So at the end of the day, I've rubbished that area. The area will have allowed me to evolve as the best person at the end of the day. So me forcing him to do what he is not crafted to do, I've mislead him as a parent. So most time, it is because of the situation we find ourselves these days. The parent find ourselves today that they have to just do the needful. And for instance, every parent wants their son or their daughter to be a doctor or an engineer. So because that is the reigning thing. So if whatever you want to become in life, they still want you to go and study medicine in school. And the person is a legal practitioner, the way he's thinking. So we do that because that is what is in vogue.
That was an awesome discussion from our distinguished guest on parenting in the 21st century. We'll be going on a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back from that short break. We are still on the program Parenting in the 21st Century. Sir, what are the active roles and responsibility you think the parents out there should uphold in today's century?
Number one, they should create time for their words. They should create enough time for them. And what we enjoy in those is that our parents have enough time to talk to us, whereas that is missing now. So there should be enough time to interact, not just to create the time, but you must have the time to interact with them, which is very important. When that time is given to them and help them educationally, what is that area? Bringing them on education is not also, don't forget you have to inject morals into them. What we see today is there's decadence in the society, and it's as a result of the parent not doing their part. We call the parent not doing their part. All the armed bandits you see today, Boko Haram today, someone give it to them. If they have done their part, we will be having all these social vices. So we need to create a quality time
For our children.
for our children. Yeah, it's important.
Sir, many parents are too busy chasing after money, business
Their business
pursuits,
plan.
and they leave their children to school teachers, nannies, house help, and daycare. Why do you think it's like that?
It is like that because there's a shift in the economy.
Okay.
Yeah. In those days, most parents go to farm. And when they come back on time. But today, their time is not sure. It's given to them by their boss. You resume 6, 7 a.m. or like a banker. resume as early as leaves as early as 5 a.m.
Yes.
Get back home by 10 p.m. Where is the time? So you don't have a choice than to give, to allow nannies or house help to take care because of their busy schedule. It is the economic factor they have to do for money.
Yes,
Money
of
answer
course,
all
yeah,
things.
of course.
Even those one that goes to farm those days, they also need money. But you see, they have the time they spend with their parents. But today, that time is not there. I left home as early as possible there in order to meet up some appointments. So I have to leave my wife or my children to someone to take care of. So it is because of the economy, the global. You see, we are still enjoying in Nigeria. Over there, people work 24 hours. But today we see our 24 hours is not 24 hours in Nigeria.
Yeah,
By
perhaps
10 or
6
11,
hours.
yeah, you are back home. But in over there, your time might be in the night. The schedule that you want to have, it may be in the night, or your just schedule might be in the night, and you have to go. So it is the economic setting in our country.
Yes, I agree with my co-presenter. Most of these parents, they leave their child to foster homes, daycare institutions, nannies and house help, or even teachers. And we should remember these people don't train the child even the way the parents
Exactly.
wish to train
Most
them.
of them are being maltreated and
And so I remember a proverb says, a child you didn't raise well will be the first to tear down the house you raised.
Yeah.
So, sir, as we parents struggle to make money, don't we think we expose these children to become wayward, joining bad gangs, immoral acts, bad influence from friends, peer pressures, and immoral activities? And as we do this, don't you think we expose them because we are not there to watch after them?
Yeah, it all depends on the kind of setting that you have at home. You see, we are talking about this immorality. It's not only at home, they get that in school too. So if you don't properly groom your child at home, for instance, there are 1001 programs going on GoTV, DSTV, but at the same time, there's a parental control. So if you can do that, there are areas they cannot go to, even though they want to watch TV. Then in bringing us house air, you need to do a lot of screening to know who you want to bring into your house. If you have a sound philosophy at home, your house air will hook up to that, no matter what. That is the standard at your home. So we can't run away from this tight schedule, but yet you still have to. There's a philosophy that surrounds each family. If you can work towards that at particular time, this is where your child should be. At a particular time, this is what they should be doing. Then the whole thing will be in order. But whereby you don't have a principle that is guiding you at home, your child will definitely go wayward. And waywardness is not just a day, it's not 2 days.
actually
It's a gradual
process.
process. But a parent should also be seeing that when a child is going wayward,
course.
and you curb such a child and let her know the best way to go in life. But that's why you see spirituality is a very key here. You know, we don't have time. But Sundays, Fridays, the Muslims will go to mosque
The mosque,
and hear
right.
sermon. Sunday, the Christian will go to church to hear sermon. With that total package, your child will be okay with prayer.
So that was a
Things will be okay.
beautiful discussion out here. Parenting has no doubt changed from that of old. In the generation today, a lot of parents are out there not alive to their responsibilities. They are busy with their business plans and pursuits, but they leave this child to foster homes, as we've heard from our guests. So our parents should be alive to the responsibility. Even with their business plan, they should check on their children, to check on how they are faring. Even in their educational life, they should check on these children, so to help them groom them to what they ought to become in future. We're going on the short break now, and we'll be back on the program. Stay tuned.
well, captivating program. Our viewers from home, if you are just joining us, we're talking about how to compare parenting in 21st century with this present generation.
Sir, on the final note, parenting in the 21st century, what do we tell our parents out there? What are those primary assignments they need to uphold to balance parenting in this 21st century?
Yeah, don't forget, like we said earlier, that most time, don't you should know that parenting in 21st century is an uphill task. And because of the numerous things that is happening now in this generation. But most importantly, I want to believe that parents in 21st century should look out for a qualitative time. Time
Children.
is an asset in the hands of the wise. If you want your children to be wise, if you want them to grow well,
And
if you want them to develop well, if you want them to be psychologically sound, you need to create time for them. Whatever we are seeing today, even within this setting, it's the common parent has taken a time to
train
inject, to train his or her own world. So every parent should take it as a responsibility. The price for greatness in life is responsibility. So they should be responsible to whatever the yearnings of their children. And as they do that, some of the children want to ask them questions, but they are not there. So if they can give just a little time for them, at least that one will go a long way. And that's my advice for them is they should just give them a qualitative time. Create time for their words. And with that, at the end of the day, both family, the community, the whole nation will live at large will become peaceful and there will be tranquility.
thank you, sir.
So,
A child who is not well brought up will allow the society put the blame on the parents.
Yes.
And it will constitute nuisance and allow the whole society to put blame on the parents, calling the child Omoluabi to Baje, like Yoruba used to say.
A parent's responsibility in this century is a serious job, as our guest has said. Parents need to create time for their children. Sir, I'm also chipping this in. Why do parents in this century train their children in this Western fashion style? Where the children greet parents saying I? Because children out there, they hardly embrace this cultural style
Like
of
kneeling
prostrating,
down, prostrating.
like the girls kneeling down for their mothers and the male kneeling down for their fathers. But they've embraced this Western fashion style in this century. So, sir, why is this so?
let me quickly chip in something that what we call cultural diplomacy, international relations. And to that, each nation has their culture. And I want to be sincere with you, we were colonized by Britain. So don't forget that. There's a diplomacy element of diplomacy that they inject their culture into us. France was also some African countries were colonized by France, and at the end of there's a policy of assimilation by France. So if you see a country colonized by France, you will see the difference between francophone and anglophone. Kissing in France is not a sin, but in England it's an issue, and in Yoruba setting or Nigerian setting, Africans it's an issue. So when you see a child doing what he's doing now, it's not because the child does not want to do the right thing, but what of the parent? They have already injected into the parent Western life, so they see it as a normal thing. My children, for instance, will not say hi to me.
Civilized world.
It's a civilized word, but my children will not say it's civilized because every morning they must prostrate to greet me. That is, I understand what is cultural diplomacy. I know that if I don't inject that into my children, they will one day tell me, hi daddy, and they will walk away from me. So, but every parent, that's what I say, has a lot to do. If you embrace your culture, if you love your culture, inject into your children. And when your children is not doing the right thing, correct instantly. Don't just leave her or leave him to some other time. Just let her realize or let him realize that this thing that you are doing is wrong. A Yoruba person, you prostrate. In Africa, this is the way we greet, and that's how it's supposed to be. There was a day one of my sons is calling someone, and then another person said, "You guys, have you ready?" I said, "The person you are talking to is not a guy, it's the mother. Don't do that next time. You don't relate with an elderly person like that." And instead, I gave it to him, and I know you won't do that. So most times you see where you don't have the time, you won't do that. You won't be able to correct. So that's why I said each parent must able to curate qualitative time for their children, and with that, they will get it. No child wants to become nuisance. No child wants to become disobedient. Is just at the hand of the parent. If they can do the right thing, the children will also do the right thing. You see, this 24th century we are talking about is not. It just come like that. Someone, like for instance, I personally watch Yoruba film just for my children to understand my language. And most time I speak most time I speak my language to them. I speak Yoruba to them at all. If they want to reply in English, say no, reply me in Yoruba. To know the richness of my culture and my language, to believe that we respect people. So it's something that parents should know now, that it is high time, Western or no Western, we should not forget our culture and traditions. And we can do that, forget about it. Children will pick it up. If you want to the way you raise your child is the way you will develop. So I want to believe that parents listening out there will understand that the major thing, time is important for their children to become well cultured in life.
To our parents out there, we've heard from our guests for today's program. Time is very important. Our parents need to embrace time for their children in this century to balance all well. Our parents need to be alive in their responsibilities, even with their business pursuits, because this child are our future for tomorrow. And we thank God for today's program. We thank you, sir, for coming to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We thank our amazing listeners and viewers who are in their comfort zones listening to us on this program. And we thank God Almighty for this program. And alongside the production crew who has made this program a successful one. I remain your host for today's program, Marvelous David, and I'm my co-presenter.
Idris Aisha's Faith.
On this note, we say bye-bye.